We're going to use these coloring books to transform coloring pages into Summerween. We've got my coloring book Just Add Spooky, a Halloween coloring book. We've got Just Add Shimmer with cute and comfy coloring. And we have the OG Just Add Sparkles, a coloring book where everything shines. Today I'm going to be using these coloring books to make Summerween art and transform the coloring pages into something both summer and Halloween. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's see how we can make these pages into Summerween coloring pages. We're going to start with the easiest to transform first with Just Add Spooky. Since it's already a Halloween coloring book, we just have to add summer to it. And then we're going to go to the hardest, Just Add Sparkles, where we'll have to make it both summer and Halloween. You can color along with me in my coloring books. They're all available on Amazon. Let's start in Just Add Spooky and find a coloring page that we can transform. I started flipping through it and I was really trying to find something that I felt like I could make both Halloween and summer and give a spooky vibe, but then add that light neon brightness of summer to it as well. So I found this clown drawing and she looks a little sad, so I felt like she needed a taste of some summer vibes. I went ahead and brought out all of my colors, and I can't wait to transform these coloring pages using bright summery colors. At first, I was really intimidated by this one. I had no idea how I was going to turn a spooky Halloween clown into something fun and summery, but then I had an idea. The first thing I think about usually when I think about summer is fruits, especially watermelon. I just feel like watermelon is the fruit of summer, so I decided to take some inspiration from that. I felt like I could make the stripes on her neck and on her shirt look like the outside of a watermelon, and then there was this ruffle around her neck because clowns have those freaky little ruffles, but I felt like I could use it to transform it into a flower since watermelons have yellow flowers that start to grow before the watermelon does. So I felt like that would be the perfect way to incorporate those designs. And then of course, to add in the best part of the watermelon, the part that we actually eat, I decided to make her skin a light pink, and then I made her hair very red so that it would really look like a watermelon. A fear that I always have when combining red and green is making it look like Christmas, and we're already trying to combine summer and Halloween. We do not need Christmas in there too. So I really tried to make sure to use pinky reds or orange reds and really avoid like a true red, since watermelons are more pink anyway, and I don't feel like this looks like Christmas at all. So I think that I achieved that goal. But then it was time to do the hair, which is my favorite part. I love coloring hair, especially red hair. I always wanted red hair growing up. Now I just don't think that I could. I think it would look crazy on me, but I still love to color it in. So I went ahead and just did my technique where I used 3 different marker colors and I put in the darkest colors first and kind of create some shape and texture in the hair. And then I add in my lighter color next to it. And then finally the lightest color for the highlights. And of course, later I'm going to go in and add in a whole bunch of juicy gel pen highlights too, to really bring out the highlights in the hair. I feel like I picked the perfect red hair shades to make it look like a pink, juicy watermelon. And now it's time to finish out the rest of the details. I felt like the other ruffles down on her shirt kind of looked like leaves, a little bit lettucey even. So I went ahead and colored them in like they were leaves and just used a couple different shades of green to quickly color them in. I don't like to add too much detail to the parts that are a little bit more background. I want your eyes to go to her face more than anything else. So I went ahead and kept the bottom a little bit more simple with just a couple shades of green. And then it was time to finish out the details on the face. I had no idea what to do for her eye makeup. At first, I thought about incorporating like seeds of the watermelon and maybe doing a dark gray or a black around her eyes, but I didn't want to take away from the light summery feel. So I decided instead to add in more of those yellow colors that I added into the flower part, and I just put those around her eyes as well to add those into the makeup. And then it was time to bring out my tiny little alcohol markers to add in a couple more details. I felt like the hair was looking a little flat. And now it's time for the background. For the background, I kept it simple and added in some watermelon waves, as I like to call them apparently, and just added those into the background to give it a little bit more texture. And then it's time for my favorite part, the juicy white gel pen highlights. This is the most transformative part. I love it. I think it makes everything sparkle and shine, and I used it a lot in this one to make her hair look like a juicy watermelon. I added in a whole bunch of white dots and tried to make it look like it was wet, and then I added in a couple more details, and here's how it turned out. We have our watermelon Summerween clown. I think it turned out really cool. Let me know if you think you could tell it was a watermelon without me telling you, because that would be great. So now we've completed the first coloring page in Just Add Spooky, and now it's time to do the one in Just Add Shimmer. So now we're on level 2. This one will be a little bit harder than that one, but hopefully not too hard to transform into Summerween. I decided to pick this alien, and I'm going to use a whole bunch of neon colors in this one to really make it look like summer. I feel like aliens are already a little bit Halloween since they're kind of spooky and out there, so I decided to make sure to keep her really looking like an alien. So I did a classic alien skin color and made her eyes completely black. That way you just knew instantly that it was an alien, but of course I had to make her a bit of a diva, so I gave her a bold lip and some eyeshadow, and then it was time to work on some other details. I really want the hair on this to shine, so I thought that it'd be cool to take some inspiration from some summer movies, specifically Aquamarine, where she has bleach blonde hair and then has bright blue highlights in it. I wanted to make it look like that. I think that is just such summery hair and vibes. So I went in and added bold neon colors, and then I literally picked a shade of blue since I didn't have one, and it was literally Aquamarine. Like, what are the chances? I felt like that was just perfect. So then I went ahead and added in those streaks of blue, and once I had a whole bunch of fun colors, I wanted to make her hair bleach blonde. I just feel like that is such a summery hair color. So I added in really bright blonde hair, first starting with the shadows, and for the highlights on this one, I wanted to keep them really bright. It's crazy sometimes how much the alcohol markers transform over time. The color looks completely different dry than when it's wet. When it was first wet, I was worried that I picked the wrong color to make the hair look light, but then once it was dry, it looked like the perfect shade of bleach blonde hair. For the stars around, I had the idea to transform them into starfish to make it a little bit more summery, and then for the planet in the background, I wanted to make it look like a pool of water more than a planet, so I decided to stick with blues for the background to try and make it look a little bit more summery and ocean-like than space-like, and kind of do a space-ocean combo. Then I decided to add in a couple more details. I wanted the makeup to be even more bold. I really wanted to make her look super summery. At this point in my head, I had an idea of what I thought she looked like. I don't know if it's kind of niche. I don't know. A lot of the time, my feed is just videos of people joining Zara Larsson on stage to do her dance. I don't know if that would make any sense to anyone else, but for some reason, I just see those all the time. So in my head, I felt like this looked like an alien version of Zara Larsson. Tell me if you see that. Tell me if you think I'm crazy for that. But then it was time for my favorite part again, the white gel pen highlights. I decided to make her eyes sparkle, and of course made sure I gave her some lip gloss, and then I added in highlights everywhere else, and then it was finally complete. I wanted to add in some Y2K type flowers as well to her neck, just to add a little bit more of a summery vibe, and then it was complete. I think she looks like a beautiful alien mermaid combination, which I think is perfect for Summerween. Comment down below if you think this one looks Summerween too and has both Halloween and summer vibes. Next up is the final difficulty level. Now we've completed Just Add Shimmer, and it's time to go to the OG coloring book, Just Add Sparkles. For this one, we're going to be taking a summer image and making it more Halloween. I decided to go with the classic ice cream cone, and I picked the perfect shade of orange because it was literally a squash orange. That's pumpkin. That's pumpkin coated all over it. So I went ahead in with that orange color first and decided to make this a Halloween ice cream cone. For the other two, I had to take the Halloween images and transform them into summer designs. And for this one, I have to take the super summery image and transform it into a Halloween design. So you know I'm going to be sticking with the classic Halloween colors. At first, I thought about doing orange, white, and black, but then I was thinking that will probably read a little bit more coifish than Halloween. So I went ahead and finished the orange, and then I decided to go with my other favorite Halloween colors, which are green and purple. I honestly wasn't sure how these colors would look side by side and if they'd look Halloween or if they would just look kind of crazy, but I decided to do my classic unrealistic swirl where the flavors are separated. So we have orange, purple, and then green, and they're all divided in perfect little neat rows, which I have no idea how you would do in real life. However, it's my coloring book, so we're gonna pretend that it can happen. So I went ahead and put the purple in the middle and picked a really bright, vibrant purple that looked a little bit monstery in color. And then it was time to do the green part, which was difficult to pick the right shade of green because I wanted it to still look appetizing and not disgusting. And there are a lot of greens out there that are not the most edible looking colors. So I went ahead and added in bright greens that looked a little more Jolly Rancher food coloring than anything else, but I feel like that was perfect for what I needed, and it looked so cool together. I think it'd be so cool to do what Mariah Elizabeth does and maybe try to make this dessert happen in real life and see if I could actually make something that looked like this because it was starting to look pretty cool. Comment down below what flavors you think would be on this cone. I'm kind of thinking the orange would be a pumpkin spice kind of flavor. The purple would have to be grape. I just can't think of any other purple flavor. And then for the green, it'd probably be a sour apple. I have no idea how well those flavors would combine, but those feel a little bit spooky in Halloween. Then it was time to do the ice cream cone itself. I decided to make it look a little bit darker, maybe like we added some food coloring to the ice cream cone. And then it was time for the boring part, which is the skin. It's fun to bring the drawing to life, but compared to all the fun Halloween colors I've been doing, this part wasn't as fun, but I wanted to keep it summery, so I decided to just make it a normal skin tone and not a monster skin tone. At first I thought about making the hand like purple or something kind of out there just to add a little bit more of an element of Halloween and spooky, but I felt like the ice cream cone was already doing a lot of that, and then I had an idea that I really liked. I made the nails orange for a plan that I have a little bit later. For now, I went back to the ice cream and I decided to just make the sprinkles brown and keep them kind of spooky looking. And then it was time to design the actual wrapper. We have this drippy little smiley face logo, but I wanted to transform it into a monster logo. So I made the background look like a candy corn, and then I made the little smiley face green to transform it into a monster. And then I grabbed a marker and started transforming this to make it even more Halloween. I added little jack-o'-lantern faces to the fingernails, which is one of my favorite parts of this entire thing. And then I made the little logo in the middle look kind of scary and angry and gave it a spooky face to make it look a little bit more Halloween. And I think this really made the entire thing transform. And then of course I had to add bats because Halloween, duh. And then I added in even more details with the black marker just to add in a little bit more decoration. And then it was time to bring in the white gel pen and finally bring it all together and bring it to life. I added in just white little sprinkles and dots and lots of sparkles, and then it was completed, and here's how it turned out. Here is my Halloween ice cream cone. This one turned out so cute and so Halloween. I love how it turned out, especially the little details like the bats and the Halloween fingernails and the spooky little logo that we transformed. This one is just so cute and it's so summer Halloween combined. Now we've completed Just Add Sparkles and we've done spooky summerween coloring pages in all three of my coloring books. We have our ice cream cone, our alien, and we have our watermelon clown. Comment down below which one turned out to be your favorite. I think they're all so cool and it's crazy how different they turned out even though they all have the same theme. We've got our watermelon clown once again, and then we have our mermaid alien with her neon bleached hair. I think it looks so cool and it was so fun to transform these coloring pages into Summerween. Even though I kind of missed it, Summerween was in the end of June, but I'm a little late, but it's never too early or too late to have some Summerween own fun. So here's how they all turned out. Comment down below which one is your favorite, and if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. I think my favorite in order is the ice cream cone, then the clown, then the alien mermaid, but comment down below which one is your favorite. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, you can get my coloring books Just Add Sparkles, Just Add Spooky, and Just Add Shimmer now on Amazon. There's lots of fun coloring pages in all of them, and we can color along together. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!